Once you have submitted your application onto the QCTO system and have received some auto responses, then I take my client through an 8-step system to get accredited. You can follow these steps as well. To summarize, they are: manage expectations. When you submit your application, there is some waiting. They request certain things from you. You upload them, you don't hear back. Later on you might hear back. Your consultant might tell you when to follow up. But the whole thing, there's some back and forth. It goes from QCTO to the CETA and then back. There is time that passes. It's administrative. There's a lot of compliance things and different points. But just manage your expectations. It's not going to happen overnight. The longest an application in my care has ever taken for the QCTO skills programs is 7.1 months. The shortest is 4.1 months. So there's no clear reason why the one took longer than the other. I think it might have something to do with the geographic locations they are auditing at the time that makes some applications jump the queue and other ones go further down. Manage your expectations. It takes time and there's a process. Familiarize yourself with the QMS. If you bought the lime green QMS, go through it, open the files, have a look. Just know what's there. Have an idea of what's there. You don't need to be able to recite it, but just check, open the files and go through them and have a fundamental understanding of what the QMS and what it contains. If you bought a QMS from elsewhere, I would also recommend you do that. If you've created your own, that's a lot of work. Congrats for finishing that very big job. But yes, just be familiar with your QMS to at least some degree. Secure a trainer agreement. We need a trainer agreement. We talked about that in eligibility. Now you're actually going to make sure you have signed one. That agreement needs to include money. Rate per day, rate per POE, rate per hour. It needs to include money. The trainer is always a natural person. That means a human being. And the company that's signing them is you signing as a representative of a company. So it's always an agreement between a company and a human being, a juristic person and a natural person. So your company representative signs a contract with that one. That agreement can be ad hoc, part-time, full-time, but there needs to be an agreement in place. I include an agreement with the QMS, or you can use your own. Prepare learning material. This definitely does not mean start developing it. It is way too late to start developing learning material with only 1 month to go before we need to submit evidence. This means just have your learning material ready to be submitted and presented in the way that it needs to. If you purchase learning material from Lime Green, you will get all the documents you need, including Forms 3 and 4. If you purchase the learning material from someone else, just make sure they give you Forms 3 and 4 as part of the learning material. If you didn't get that, you're buying an incomplete product. Then number 5, gather documents and evidence. This means the compliance documents that they've requested from us. We're gonna and other items like the training agreement, the learning material and all that. We're gonna gather all this information, but for now we're only submitting evidence for a desktop evaluation, which is different and less evidence than we do during their audit. At this point, that evidence is this. That's these items here, which we'll go into a bit more detail. And to submit it, we submit it on their SharePoint at that link. So these 5 steps, we don't do the other 3 yet because those are not required. We can do those during the monitoring phase. We just want to do what's necessary at this point with our 1 calendar month limit, and that is these 5 steps, and the final goal is to submit those documents to the QCTO onto their SharePoint system.